The next section that we're going to go over is Group 5 IB Mathematics. The first thing to talk about is that about a year ago, the International Baccalaureate Organization changed their IB curriculum, and the way that they have now reformatted all of the IB courses is to fit more of the international standard, not necessarily the sequential standard of mathematical learning that we have not only in Texas but in the United States. So as you know, typically we follow a pattern, which is Algebra 1 and then Geometry, Algebra 2, Pre-Cal, and then so forth and so on. The way that the IB curriculum has reformatted is so that students are learning the both application and analysis of different kind of real-world problems using Algebra 2, Pre-Calculus, Statistics, and Calculus. But the way that it's being taught is not necessarily sequential or in order, the way that we normally think about how math is taught, but instead is doing that kind of through these different pathways. So there's two different pathways to mention whenever it comes to the new IB math curriculum. That is math applications, which are all those here listed in blue, or math analysis, which are all these listed here in this pink color. So math applications covers in, if you look at the chart, which you can find again online at whsib.com/chart your path, it'll show you the real world applications and analysis based on some careers that have been verified by the International Baccalaureate, depending on which kind of pathway a student might choose. So here in the applications section, these are for students who might be thinking more arts, humanities, business economics, natural sciences, and medicine. So in these pathways, the course will be covering not only Algebra 2, because our IB course begins in IB Algebra 2, but then they will be covering some pre-cal and statistics topics, and then be covering some more statistics and calculus in both the SL and HL versions of this course. So students, even who are beginning in Algebra 1, will be learning some calculus even in this SL option. So in 4 years, a student might still be getting some stat, and then definitely, so they will be getting stat and calculus in this pathway. Same thing with this pathway as well. Now, here in the analysis classes, they also are going to be covering topics in statistics and calculus, but this is going to be getting into even more advanced versions of both of those different subjects. So they're going to be learning that in this pathway, where they could possibly in their junior year be in analysis 1. They would be going, they have two options, which is to take applications 1 SL their senior year, or they could do analysis SL their senior year. Then over here in this pathway, students will be going into HL analysis. That's for our students who are thinking anywhere from medicine, engineering, computer science to physics, and also just mathematics. So here is where we get into more mathematical, more advanced math in this pathway. Now, one of the big questions that I'm getting from parents and students is, in what way is this equivalent to any of the things that we have been teaching at Westwood in the past? How does this compare to AP or even on level? Well, the first thing to think about is that while the student might be covering all of the topics through the pathway, they may not be getting it in any given year. So we can't say, of course, that pre-calculus is equivalent to analysis 1, because analysis 1 is going to be covering also some statistics as well. So the question comes is, can a student then go on to an AP course after taking one of these IB courses? And the answer, of course, is yes, they can. And we have published here at Westwood a document which tells us what topics they cover in any given year in any of these. So if a student is wanting to go on to a different AP class, they can look at those comparison of those topics so that they know what additional topics they might need to self-study if they want to do an AP exam, or if they want to go straight into an AP course. So the one thing to mention though is that this class here is a prerequisite, of course, for Analysis 4. Analysis 4 is equivalent and will actually be co-seated with multivariable calculus. So the students coming from Analysis 3 going into multivariable are also going to be going into the same class as a student who has been in AP and BC calculus. So we can say that those students are going to be able to be in that same kind of class, learning the same topics from both of the different curriculums. So that kind of helps maybe understand how the new IB math works. Though of course, each of the individual teachers might have published information on their specific websites. And if ever you're wondering how to get to those, if you go to the IB website under IB Community and you click on IB Faculty, more information might be found there as well. And as another further reference, remember here on the choice sheet, every single one of the courses in mathematics, as well as any of the IB courses in general, have their own linked course and course description. So you can get more information from those teachers, though it looks like I have no internet, but that is okay. You know now how to get there.